Hello, everyone. Welcome to another one of my live sessions. Before I begin, I'm just going to ask my team to confirm if I'm audible and if I'm live, considering the previous session had a bit of a technical glitch as well. So just to kind of make sure that everything is working fine. Team, can any of you please confirm if I'm live? All right, so I can see my team joining in, and yes, okay, just a second. Team, can you please confirm if I'm live on both YouTube and Facebook? All right, I think it seems to be working fine now. So without further ado, I'm going to basically begin with the session now. So yes, I'd like to welcome you all to another one of our live sessions. For those of you who were expecting to see Mary in today's session, she was unable to conduct today's session. So we've kind of switched up things a little bit for this week, but don't be disheartened. She should be coming for another session perhaps later this week sometime. So yeah, so I'm here today taking the session for all of you, and basically every week me or one of my other fellow licensed immigration advisors from my team do come on live on Facebook and YouTube and even Instagram to basically speak with all of you and clear any doubts or queries or apprehensions that you may have about making that move to New Zealand. So, at AJV, we basically try our best to, provide friendly and frank immigration advice to all of you, and kind of to, we try our best to be as transparent as can be in the information that, we are dispersing to you. So as a company, we do believe that it's extremely important to disseminate accurate information, especially when it comes to something as complex as migration. We do understand that a lot is at stake, and it's the question of you potentially moving to another country, leaving everything behind. You'd probably even be moving with your entire family. So, we do understand that there's a lot at stake, and that, in such a situation, it's essential to receive advice that is correct, and be guided accurately in such a situation. So, which is why, we kind of really make that conscious effort at building a team of licensed immigration advisors. So what that basically means is that, you as a client would be dealing with someone who is competent enough to interpret immigration instructions and, understand immigration laws and policies and, advise you of the same. In order to get a license, you're in fact required to complete a professional qualification that's known as a graduate diploma in New Zealand immigration advice. It's offered at TOI in New Zealand, and so even I'm currently pursuing that course as of now. And the fact that I've completed the first 4 subjects of that course has basically given me a provisional license, which is why I'm able to come in front of all of you and conduct these sessions as well. So I'm going to show you all my license card. This is my license card. And yeah, so this basically allows me to provide immigration advice under supervision. So as of now, currently at AJV, we have a team of 5 licensed immigration advisors, a mix of provisional and full licensed holders. So there is, of course, me, Tulika, Arun, and Mary. Most of you, at least the ones who do view our live sessions often, would have encountered, one or more of us. And more recently, we do also have another person who's joined our organization who is a full licensed holder. Her name is Shireen, and you can perhaps expect to see her in the next week or 2 also conducting live sessions. So yeah, so the rules of the session are pretty basic. They're the same as they have always been. While I'm discussing about certain topics in the session, I would request you all to just leave your comments or queries or questions or whatever it may be in the comments section on Facebook, and I will be getting to them eventually and addressing all of those queries. I would also request those of you who are working with us to just state there that you are an AJVN or an AJV client, so that we can kind of extract more information about your specific case from my team members. And those of you who are not working with us, then I would also request you to drop in your contact number along with your question, so that post the live session, we can connect with you and, provide you with more detailed information as well. All right. So before I, start talking about University of Canterbury, which is the primary topic for today's session, I would also like to address the COVID-19 situation a little bit, because I know that that is something that has been on the minds of most people who are planning to, study abroad. So, it's best to kind of lay those apprehensions to rest and address that situation at the outset. So, as most of you would be aware, New Zealand is, currently in level 4 of the, country's 4-level COVID-19 alert system. So what that essentially means is that it's pretty much a lockdown stage right now, where only the essential services are open presently. So that includes your, some supermarkets and, your pharmacies, etc., some dairies as well. So as of now, yes, it is true that the borders are closed to international travelers. However, there are certain exceptions to that as well. For example, people who are in the essential workers category, which basically constitutes the health workers who are, in great need, especially at this point of time. So, they might be exempt from that. Also, certain other people who might be exempt are partners of New Zealand citizens or residents, or even temporary work or student visa holders who primarily do live in New Zealand and are trying to kind of come back into the country. So those are certain exceptions, and even people who do wish to apply for a visa on humanitarian grounds, they might be considered. Other than that, the offices, the embassies are pretty much closed right now. There is skeleton staff present in New Zealand who are only looking at priority applications at the moment, and yeah, basically. But that doesn't mean though that they're no longer accepting applications for lodgement. There has been no restriction on that yet, so we can still lodge applications. However, they will be probably assessed at a later stage when the staff is present in full. All right. Other than goes down, at least for the next 4 weeks. And most of them, however, are conducting online classes as well. So, you do kind of continue with your studies. However, it's just done remotely. But yeah, in such a situation, we just have to try our best to kind of keep things going and not bring everything to a standstill. And so, as a company at AJV, we are doing the same here as well. Providing you with advice, even though, you may not be able to enter New Zealand at this point in time. We are confident that the situation will definitely improve in the coming months. And, we are here to kind of assist you in coming into New Zealand eventually. So yes, in fact, the government has also, taken out some measures to kind of provide support to people who are presently residing in New Zealand. So some of the measures that they've taken is that they have come out with a wage and subsidy scheme. And what that basically means is that, certain people who are presently employed, full-time employees would probably they can be eligible to avail a wage subsidy of $585 per week, while part-time employees can get about $350 per week. There are, of course, a lot of criteria that need to be met in order to avail, this wage subsidy. So you will have to check out the website for further information, or alternatively, of course, you can connect with us, because we'd be happy to kind of assist you with that as well. All right, so yeah, apart from that, some other updates are also that Immigration New Zealand had advised everyone that people whose visas are expiring on 1st April, which is in fact today, they need to lodge a further temporary application, or it may result in you becoming unlawful, which is a situation that none of you want, I'm assuming. So it's extremely important to make sure you're not becoming unlawful or not breaching your visa conditions. So Immigration New Zealand did let out a notification to kind of inform everyone whose temporary visas are expiring on 1st April, to lodge a further temporary visa, so that in the meantime you can be issued with an interim visa, and so that you can continue to remain in New Zealand lawfully. So that's one important thing. And for those of you whose temporary visas are expiring between 1st April to 9th July 2020, you will have your visas extended till September, and Immigration New Zealand will perhaps be providing you with a notification around that shortly. There's been another change very recently to immigration instructions. They've actually relaxed the immigration instructions a little bit. to especially help the essential services workers. And what the slight change in that is basically people who are working for retailers that are affiliated with Woolworths New Zealand or Foodstuffs Limited, and who are on a work or a student visa. There has been a slight change for the next 30 days, and what basically work visa holders are now allowed to work in roles other than what has been specified on your visa. So you're not really restricted to that position, and the employer can really utilize their staff for several things, rather than kind of restricting them there. So it helps them to utilize their resources in a more efficient manner. So I think that was a great move, made by Immigration New Zealand as well. Also, student visa holders who are perhaps working part-time for such retailers, you're no longer restricted to the 20 hours per week time limit. So you can work, beyond that as well. But do remember that this is for 30 days, and it would be best to, keep checking the Immigration New Zealand's website as well to kind of get the most updated information, or alternatively, come in contact with an agency such as us, and we would be happy to, give you the most up-to-date information around this. Yeah. So I think I have spoken at length about the COVID-19 situation. And let me see if certain questions have started coming in. Okay, they have, but I'm first going to talk about University of Canterbury because that is the topic for today. So yes, basically the University of Canterbury is, I'm sure most of you would have heard about this university. It's one of the 8 universities in New Zealand, and extremely well known. It's been ranked within the top 250 universities in the world. So that's a great ranking, and it, in itself attests to the top quality education that, one would be receiving there. Talking about its history, it's actually the second oldest university in New Zealand, right after the University of Otago. It was founded in 1873. Interestingly, it was founded by scholars of Oxford and Cambridge universities. And in fact, I think Christchurch is also named after one of the colleges from Oxford, which was called Christ Space Church. So UC's main campus is located in the heart of Christchurch, and that's a really attractive landscaped ground as well. So it's one of the leading research universities, and it's produced some really well-known graduates as well, who have greatly impacted the world in many ways. So I think the best example would be, the renowned physicist Ernest Rutherford, who was a research student at UC, and he in fact graduated with 3 degrees. So he did eventually come to be known as the father of nuclear physics, and also worked very closely with Professor J.J. Thomson, who was credited with the discovery of the electron. So that's the kind of strong alumni at the university that the university has produced, and you can only kind of imagine the kind of study environment that you would be present in if you were to study at UC. So the university is structured around 5 colleges that offer a wide variety of courses. So I'm quickly going to just talk about 2 specific courses which are very popular at UC. They've been very popular choices from our clients as well, and they've also led to great outcomes. So the first course that I'm going to be talking about briefly is the postgraduate diploma in applied data science. So a data scientist is basically someone who deals with data and can, predict the future based on past patterns. And this is quite an essential skill set, especially in a world where, we have a lot of companies who are dealing with large-scale data collection and digitalization. So what this course does, also this course is great in the sense that, it's very accommodative. You don't have to specifically come from an undergrad degree in maths or stats or computer science. It's open to undergraduates from a lot of different fields. So the website itself, in itself states that as long as you are data hungry and can demonstrate an interest for this particular field, they would be more than happy to take you on. So, this course would definitely help you, hone your analytical abilities, your critical thinking skills, your problem solving skills as well. And, graduates from this course are, they can end up working in a range of industries, like a wide range of industries such as finance or agriculture or transport, etc. So it's definitely a great course option. It's 1 year in duration. And, if you're interested in this specific course, if it appeals to you, we would definitely, ask you to kind of get in touch with us, because we would be happy to give you more detailed information as well around it. The next course that I'm going to talk about is the Masters of Engineering offered at UC. So as some of you would be aware, there were major earthquakes in 2010 and 2011 in Christchurch, which unfortunately led to a lot of destruction, as well as about 185 people died during these earthquakes. So since then, the government has definitely put in a lot of effort in diverting resources towards rebuilding the city. Over and above that, there has also been an increase in the overall population in New Zealand. So automatically, what that means is that there will be an increased need of residential buildings. So there is definitely a construction boom right now in New Zealand, and specifically in Christchurch, and a great demand for professionals who are needed in this field. Which is why a lot of positions in the construction field also fall under the long-term skill shortage list, which is basically a list that has been that the government came out with to kind of demonstrate, a sustained and an ongoing need for professionals in particular fields. So this specific industry is expected to see steady job growth right through 2026, and it's also expected that there'll be 6,000 new jobs a year in this industry right through to 2026. So I think that's great opportunity for people who are interested in this area. So the Masters of Engineering specifically, it's completed by coursework and thesis. It is research oriented as well. It's also, you can also choose your specialization whilst pursuing this course. So there are a bunch of options. You can choose between earthquake engineering or mechanical engineering, software, civil, construction. So you can really take your pick. And the great part about that is that any of these specializations would lead you to, with skills that would eventually be in great demand by the employers in New Zealand, given that practically all engineering positions do fall under the long-term skill shortage list. So what's also interesting is that UC is ranked 8th in the world for civil engineering. So that's definitely a top class ranking for sure. In order to be eligible for this course, you should have ideally completed a bachelor's in a relevant field. And another important thing to be mindful of is that UC also does have some strict criteria about the number of backlogs that a student had in their undergraduate qualification. But that also really helps the filtration process. So you can be assured that you'd be studying with peers who would help formulate a really intellectually stimulating environment. So yeah, that's all about UC and some of the courses that they offer. Other than that, of course, Christchurch is a great city to be in. It is the second largest city in the South Island, and it's also known as the Garden City because of its beautiful landscapes. It also has a huge demand for professionals in the healthcare industry, the manufacturing sector, and as well as the construction sector, like I've already mentioned. What's also great about choosing Christchurch is that once you do end up securing a job in Christchurch, that would also give you 30 bonus points for your residence application. So I think those are some of the things that do need to be taken into consideration right from the start. So if you do end up studying in Christchurch, it's likely that you would be forming more networks and connections within that city as well. So it would allow you to find a job there and ultimately claim those 30 bonus points and contribute to the 160 points that are required to lodge your residence application. So yeah, in short, that's it about UC and Christchurch. And now I'm just going to see if there are any questions that I can move on to. All right, so okay, so we have our first comment from Sunil Kumar, who says, "Hi Navya, I'm an AGV client under Unisys guidance. I want to know, our institute do any intake on November 2020 for construction management level 7? Hi Sunil, thanks a lot for your comment on my live session, as well as for choosing to work with us. We're very fortunate to have you as our client as well. And it's great to know that you're working under the guidance of Eunice, who is a very able study advisor as well. It's great that you are looking at the construction management program, because I've spent a great deal of time in this live session talking about that industry and the scope of that industry in itself. And ARA does provide one of the top courses in construction management too. I can quickly cross-check with my team if there is an intake available at that time. All right, so Eunice has just given me an update that your wife already holds a conditional offer letter from UC for Masters of Civil Engineering July 2020 intake and wanted to defer to the Feb 2021 intake. All right, so it seems that your wife is perhaps the primary applicant in this whole process. All right, so thanks for your query, Sunil. I will have to cross-check, about the specific intakes, because I don't remember them at the top of my head like that. But we'll definitely get back to you on the, intakes available for the course that you're interested in, and we will let you know. All right. The next comment is from Varadha Ibrahim. Hi, looking to migrate under skilled migrant path. Can you help me for that? Hi, Varadha. Thank you for your query. You haven't, however, left your number, so I would definitely encourage you to do that, so that we can provide you with more detailed information. That is something that we would expect from you as well. This is a public platform at the end of the day, and there's only so much information that I can provide here. However, in order to kind of address your query, the skilled migrant category is not the easiest pathway, to residency, primarily because it's very difficult to meet the requirements of this particular category. Specifically, if you're looking at applying for the skilled migrant category residence application, what that does require is for you to either have a skilled offer of employment in New Zealand, or have completed a 2-year course in New Zealand that leads to a master's or a doctorate, along with meeting 160 points criteria. So, it's very difficult for people who are based overseas to, secure an offer of employment in New Zealand, while they're present there. Obviously, the employers in New Zealand also prefer to offer jobs to people who are based in New Zealand on valid work visas, as they'd be more readily available to even start the job as well. You do also need to understand that your residence application would take approximately 12 to 14 months, for processing. So, I doubt any employer would want to wait that long before, taking you on in their company, which is why most people tend to prefer the student pathway. Because that way, not only do you get a local qualification in New Zealand, but it also gives you a post-study work visa as soon as you complete the course, and you can secure an offer of employment and then directly apply for residence from there. But however, if you do feel that you are really keen about this this category of application, then what you can do is you can send your CV as well as your spouse's CV to info@ajvglobal.com, and one of the licensed immigration advisors in our team will do an assessment and will let you know if you're meeting the points criteria at all or not. So thanks for that, and I would request you to just send your CV across to us. All right, there is a comment from Gigi. Thanks, Gigi, for your comment. And, you've not left your number again. I would like to reiterate that, I would really appreciate it if, all of you who are commenting and who are not working with us would leave your number so that, we can connect with you after this as well. So in order to answer your question, there are a lot of great level 9 courses available in New Zealand. There are a lot of options for master's courses in ITPs, PTEs, and universities. They are, of course, more intensive. So, you do need to come in with the right kind of attitude and be prepared to put in that effort. However, what's even more great about these courses is that it would give you a 3-year post-study work visa once you've completed the course, and that does give you, ample amount of time to, job hunt in New Zealand and consequently apply for your residence application. What's also really great about, taking up a level 9 course is that you can also bring your partner along, and she would also be given work rights. She or he would also be given work rights. So yeah, that's a few factors to consider. You've also asked if academic gap is acceptable in a New Zealand student visa. So yes, of course, a gap is acceptable. Of course, you do need to, we kind of need to understand from you what exactly the profile is, how long is the gap, were you undertaking employment in that period, so those are certain things that we'll have to have a chat with you about. So I would definitely kind of request you to leave your number so that we can connect with you. Let me see if my team has given any information. All right, Ashok has written, hi Navya, I'm working as a bar manager in Citizens Club, getting $26 per hour. I just want to know that can I apply for the residency being a bar manager? I've already cleared IELTS, 2 duty managers and 3 bar staff work under me. I report to the club manager. I fulfill the criteria 160 points. Please let me know if I'm eligible to find permanent residence. You're doing a great job. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Ashok, for the compliment as well, and for your query. Okay, so something as complex as residence would definitely require one of the licensed immigration advisors to get in touch with you and to really understand your profile. We will have to. Of course, it's great that you are getting $26 per hour, because that automatically means that you are getting more than the $25.50 per hour minimum requirement, and you are also saying that you're meeting the 160 points. However, we would also like to do that assessment ourselves as well, because there can be a few things missed here and there from someone who's not really trained to do that assessment. And over and above that, we will definitely have to see your exact offer of employment along with the job duties enlisted there, and match it to the correct ANSCO code, see whether it can be assessed, it can be classified as skilled employment. So we will have to do all of that work. So what I would request you to do is just, if you could leave your number here or your email ID, we'll definitely get in touch with you, and then we'll take it further from there. All right, I'm just seeing some messages from my team as well. All right. So we have a query from Dushyant Nair, who said, can you please shed some light on postgraduate diploma in business at QC? Thanks, Dushyant, for posting your comment here. And of course, I know that you're working with us and that your visa officer is Anne, and that you intend on going for the July intake. So I'm really glad that you have chosen to work with us, and the course that you've selected is also really great. In fact, if you would see my previous session, I did talk at length about how popular the general business and management courses are, and what a great option they are for, especially from a residence point of view. So, we did attend a webinar that was conducted by Education New Zealand, and where you had a lot of, college representatives from a lot of universities, basically, in New Zealand, who were talking about the business programs at some of the top universities, including UC. So, their stats showed that the business programs tend to be the most popular amongst Indian students as well, mostly because, you can choose a lot of specializations, and also at the end of the course, you'd be more equipped, of course, to take on even something like an entrepreneurial business, or if, you choose to work for a specific industry, you would have those right managerial skills. And also the fact that, once you complete this course, basically you will not be restricted to any particular field, and that would really help you for your residence application, because the residence application does require you to secure a job offer which is relevant to your previous qualification. So if you end up doing a really niche course, and you don't end up finding a job which is similar to that course, then that could be a problem for you when it comes to your residence application. So taking a business course is a great option, from that perspective. So I think just go right ahead with it. and I'm sure that you'll have a great outcome as well. All right, Mariam Fatih has written, I want to be an AJV student. Mariam Fatih, that's great to know that you want to be an HAV student. We would also love for you to be an HAV student. So I would encourage you to leave your number here so that we can connect with you and provide you with more information around that. All right, we have another message from Sovit, who's written MD, MS courses for MBBS past licensed doctors in Nepal. Sovit, I would request you to please leave your number so that I can then come back to your question and answer it. That is one of the rules of the session that, you would be required to share your number as well before we can provide you with further details. Balvinder has also Balvinder has written a comment saying that I did a graduate diploma in project management level 7 from MIT Manukau, currently employed as manager in South Island. How about my residency? Please let me know. Thanks. Thanks, Balvinder, for your query. I would also request you to leave your number once again, or your email ID, or some contact details, in the comment section, so that we can connect with you and provide you with more information around that. That's great that you did a graduate diploma in project management from MIT, and that you did manage to find a job as a manager. So in order to assess your eligibility for a residence application, we would require your offer of employment. We would need to see your CV and see whether you meet the 160 points criteria. We would need to know whether you're earning $25.50 per hour. So those are some of the things that we will have to talk about in detail, and we'll only be able to do it if you are kind enough to share your contact details. So I would just urge you to do that as well. Also, another update was that basically there has been an increase in the minimum wage. In fact, today itself, the minimum wage was $17.70 per hour. So that has increased to $18.90 New Zealand dollars per hour. So that's also something to just take note of and be aware of. All right. We have a message from Gaurav Jain saying, hi, good morning. Hi, Gaurav. Thanks for dropping in a message. If you do have a question or comment to share with us, I would definitely request you to do that. All right, so Joy has written, hello, my wife had applied and received the visa for March intake at AIS, but due to the lockdown, she couldn't travel. So is it possible to join May intake, or next is July intake? Hi, Joy. Thank you for your query. I'm not sure if your wife has applied through us. If you could let us know, about that, whether you're working with us or not. But anyway, this is just general information for everyone that it's unlikely that you would be able to come into New Zealand for the May intake, primarily because immigration, New Zealand is also not working right now. However, you have said that she's got the visa. So it really depends when the travel restrictions are, when the travel restrictions are kind of stopped, and when people will be allowed to enter. So you'll have to stay in touch with either an advisor, an agency, or keep checking the website online also to kind of take updates about that. We are expecting, however, that people should definitely be able to make it for the July intake. In fact, we are continuing to launch student visa applications for the July intake. We are hoping that the Immigration New Zealand's office will also open, and they will continue to process applications soon. So in such circumstances, especially because they've taken a break, and then they'll be coming back after about a month or so. They will, of course, have a lot of applications to assess, which is why it's best to just lodge your application, put it in the system, and so that it's picked out earlier from the queue as well when Immigration New Zealand does start assessing applications once again. So yeah, this is just information for those of you who are, uncertain about your plans for July. My suggestion to you would be to just kind of not panic or fret about that. You don't really have anything to lose at this point. Just connect with us. We can always go ahead with the admission process and even lodge your application. Immigration New Zealand also, I think, on their website has posted that if it's not if the assessment has not been completed, you can even withdraw your application because of the COVID situation, and the fees for the application will also be refunded. So there is some information around that as well. So yeah, you don't really have much to lose. I would just suggest that you carry on with your plans right now, because things will definitely get resolved, sooner rather than later. All right. Omar has written, "Hi, I'm from Egypt. Can I ask about master in education in Hamilton, and is it easy to get a visa?" Hi, Omar. Thanks a lot for your query. Masters in education is a great option. For a lot of our clients do tend to go for education-related courses because there is a demand for teachers in New Zealand as well. Whether it's easy to get a visa or not is entirely dependent on your profile as well. Whether it makes sense that you want to pursue this particular course, or whether you have sufficient documentation with regards to your previous qualifications and experience. Of course, we at AJV are trained to kind of help you out with that and present your application in a way that makes it easy to get a visa. We have a high approval percentage rate as well. We recently met with the operations manager of the New Zealand High Commission in Mumbai, and they were very pleased with our performance. They did tell us that we mostly give them visa ready files. So it really depends on the entire profile and how it's kind of portrayed to the immigration office as well. So I would encourage you to leave your number so that we can connect with you, and I'm sure we'll help you get a visa as well. All right. Ashok has written, "Thanks a lot, Navya." You're welcome, Ashok. Let me see if my team has anything to say yet. All right. Okay. Moving on. Just a second, please. All right. So we have a question from Omar Ali, who's written, "Does INZ accept a financial guarantor like a parent as proof of funds?" Hi, Omar. Thanks for your question, and thank you so much for leaving your number as well. We would love to connect with you post this session too, and provide you with greater clarity about this question. But yes, to answer your question simply, they do accept financial guarantors, and your parent would be considered as an acceptable sponsor as well. So you can always take their assistance for showing funds for your student visa. I hope that answers your question. Okay, we have Regal Ranjan. Please share your India number. Hi, Regal. Thanks for your message. If you specifically want my number, you can always get that from the AJV website, or even from the Immigration Advisors Authority, where you'll also find my licensing details. However, if you want to connect with our team, you can also contact our toll-free, and I will just give you the toll-free number. The India toll-free number is basically 1-800-103-6525. All right. And the New Zealand toll-free number is 0800-696977. All right. So Ashok Yadav has written my contact number. All right. He's given his contact number. Thanks a lot, Ashok. That's really helpful to us as well. We would love to connect with you post this session. you will definitely receive a call from us as well. All right, Sanjo Vincent has written, and I think I've got some information about this from our team. All right. I am an AJVian. What about partner or student visa? Will it take much more time? So Sanjo, the thing is, the situation is that yeah, so the current situation is that the partnership application processing time frame had in fact drastically reduced from what it used to be. Of course, and up until the COVID situation happened, the time frame had actually come down to even a week or two for some of our clients at least. So nothing to worry about at this point. Of course, you would also be aware that the partner's application works as well. So just go ahead with the process. I don't think it should take too much time. The situation should resolve shortly, and everything will resume and go in its usual flow. So not to worry, and just stay in touch with our team, and we'll keep updating you about the latest information as well. All right, so this is once again just to reiterate that those of you who have not yet gotten an update on your application, or your applications are still pending with INZ. The situation is that most of the offices, all of the offices, immigration offices are closed as of now, and there's only skeletal staff operating in New Zealand, like I'd mentioned, and they're only looking at priority cases, which is why there will be a delay in hearing on regarding certain updates on your applications as well. All right. Satya has written, hi, I'm currently in India. I have got a post-study work visa on March 6th. My first entry date to New Zealand is on or before 6th June 2020. If the border restrictions are beyond the date, what measures I have to take? Please kindly help me. Hi, Satya. Thanks for your query. It's in such a situation that, you would need to be assisted by an immigration advisor as well, so that we can really help you out with the situation. Of course, we can't really say anything about how long the restriction will be in place for. But if the border is closed, then of course immigration New Zealand will allow for travel at a later date. So not to worry about that. But it's also best to get in touch with an advisor who can assist you with this, right at the outset. So I would definitely recommend you to leave your number so we can help you out with this, because we don't want any problems, occurring at a later stage for you as well. All right, Omar Said. I think Omar, you had left your number. Sorry, you'd left your query before, which I'd answered. So thanks for sharing your number as well. And we, one of our study advisors will definitely get in touch with you and, help you assess your profile and understand what are the best possible courses for a master's of education, and which university or college you should, pursue that from as well. So thanks for leaving your number. All right, so Satya has stated that as of now, immigration is telling to apply for variation of travel conditions visa, in which I'll have to pay again $495 as a fee. Satya, like I said, like this is, it's a sensitive issue. I would suggest you leave your number. Okay, you have left your number, so that's great. One of our advisors will definitely get in touch with you and help you out with the situation. So not to worry about that. All right. We have a message from Arvind Nair as well, who has said, Hi, are there any changes to the application process for the Feb 2021 intake looking for Masters in Renewable Energy at Mass University? Hi, Arvind. No, there are no changes to the application for a process for Feb 2021 intake as of now. I mean, there's a long time, for that. To even start. So there are no changes about that, when it comes to the Feb 2021 intake at all. The processing should be more or less similar. However, one can't really take into account any unforeseen, incidences that may occur. But everything is the same as of now for that specific intake. And if you're looking for, pursuing further studies in New Zealand, we would be happy to assist you with the visa file as well. So if you could leave your contact details, and we will definitely get in touch with you. Satya has said thank you. Thanks a lot, Satya. Also, we have also, AJV as a company, we made an initiative to, come up with a new Facebook page, which is called the AJV COVID-19 group. So I would definitely encourage those of you who would like to work with us to join that group as well, because we are posting queries and, updates regarding the COVID-19 situation specifically on that group. So that would be a great place for you to kind of get the latest information, about the current circumstances. Ankit has written, "Hello, ma'am. Greetings from Nepal." Hi, Ankit. Thank you for posting your comment. However, we'd also like to know if you have any question for us to answer, or if you would just like to share your contact details, and we can connect with you post this session and have a further conversation with you. All right, we do have a question on YouTube from Dibyo, which says, "How is a course in hospitality management? Is 42% enough for New Zealand after 12th?" Hi, Dib. I don't think you've left your number. I would definitely urge you to leave your number as well, so that we can connect you with one of our study counselors who would be very well equipped to answer your question in a lot of detail. However, briefly speaking, it's a great choice of course, because hospitality and the tourism industry have been one of the primary industries in New Zealand. New Zealand does rely a lot upon tourism to generate revenue for the country. And you do have some great hospitality courses, at colleges such as QRC or PIMS in New Zealand. And so it really kind of depends on their specific entry criteria as well. And then we can kind of guide you around that, whether you'd be eligible to take up a course there or not. So I would definitely urge you to just leave your number so we can connect with you post the session. All right, if there are no other questions as of now, then I guess I will end the session for today, and you will be seeing me again, probably on Thursday next week. And two of my other allies will also be conducting sessions this week. So I would request you to definitely join those sessions, because they are very informative, and it's a great opportunity for you to connect with us, and also to for us to kind of lay any apprehensions of yours at rest. So with that, I'll see you all next week. Thanks a lot for attending the session. Goodbye.